So, hello everybody. I'm just getting the 390 ready for tree job coming up. Chain was a little dull, just used it and didn't have time to sharpen it before I put it up. So, just ran through, sharpened it real quick, and I figured I'd make this video because it's something I don't see talked about enough, and it is an issue that I do see some people struggling with. I just sharpened my chain. I've watched all the videos and I just sharpened it. I took the Rakers down, but my chain shatters just a little. Not a lot, but it's not super smooth cutting. One of the biggest things I see is, well, there's two different things I see. One, especially people who use this style Raker gauge, when you actually use the Raker gauge, if you look at the backside, you can kind of see wear marks from where it rubs on parts of the chain. It's kind of hard to see on camera because it's so shiny, but you can actually see little bits of wear marks where the back of this, which is steel, rides on the very fine point of your cutting edge. Does it dull it a lot? No. But it does dull it enough to sometimes I've seen it cause a little bit of chatter. But the biggest thing I see that causes chatter is after you file the Rakers. I get focus. There it is. See how nice and rounded my Rakers are? They look just like they do from the factory. Nice, rounded. It's not just flat across. When people file their Rakers, they just go flat across or at a little bit of an angle following the Raker gauge. Such as this one, just pick a tooth at random. That just leaves a flat angle. You can see that bit of a flat, but you also see that very leading edge, the part that actually well contact wood. I round it over. After I sharpen the chain, I take my Raker gauge, take all the Rakers down, and then I go back through with my round file, get 1-2 swipes just to reestablish the superfine point. Doesn't make a huge difference, but if I'm falling, I want the sharpest chain possible that grabs the best and easiest. And doing that extra 2 swipes takes 60 seconds even on, this is full comp 36-inch chain. So it only takes me 60 seconds to do another 2 swipes after I take the Rakers down. After I take the Rakers down, I choke up right here in the vise and just go like that. And just round the front leading edge of the Raker off. This is just my flat file. Take 1 stroke like that. Go to the next. 1 stroke. Advance the chain. 1 stroke. 1 stroke. Keep the file flat this way. You keep it like that. And then you just roll your wrist as you push it. All it does is it just rounds over the leading edge of the Raker. If you notice, all your brand new chains, the Rakers look like that. And there's a reason. It just helps the chain to cut just that little bit smoother. If you've ever sharpened your chain and taken the Rakers down and noticed it chatters just a little, not much, but you feel a little bit of vibration in the saw itself. A lot of times it's because the Rakers, when it's at just a flat angle, it's not as smooth of a transition as if it was fully rounded. Again, these are super fine details that aren't truly important. It's just something that makes the chain run just that little bit nicer. And those extra 2 strokes to keep that super sticky sharp hook point on your chain, if you notice, that will actually catch my finger. And let's see if I can do this. Come on. It actually catches on the meat of my nail and will leave a scratch. I keep my chains razor sharp. I tend to try to keep them out of the dirt, and again, just keep them razor sharp, and it's easier to sharpen instead of going all the way dull, all the way sharp. After a couple tanks of gas, once you notice the chain's not cutting quite as fast, just swap chains or give a few swipes of the file. Then also, rounding over your rakers. Again, small differences. But especially where I sharpen chains for friends, family, and a few, I don't want to call them customers, but people who they'll give me chains to sharpen and I'll sharpen for them because they're either my friends or friends of my friends. And sharpening chains is my version of therapy. Had a stressful day at work, came in, just sharpened the chain and feel a lot better. But doing those small details, all my friends who run my saws or they run the chains I sharpen, they all say the same thing. Wow, that's the smoothest and fastest cutting chain I've ever run. And again, takes about 60, this is a full comp, 36-inch chain. It literally takes me an extra 3 minutes. Round over all the rakers and give every tooth 2 extra swipes to keep it perfectly sharp. And it'll take your really, really, really good chain, better than factory, to a perfect chain that's your favorite chain to run all of a sudden. It's the small details that add up in the end, and I mean, this is a 390 XP. Do I need to do it? No. This I'll pull a dull chain all day long and still be happy about it. But when you get a true razor's edge to your chains, it's special. It's an awesome feeling having the fastest cutting chain possible. Yes, I know I'm talking about fastest cutting chain with round files, but you get my point. Doing that will make your chains not much faster, but they'll definitely be smoother, and it is a difference that you will notice in the cut. So again, if you've had any issues with a little bit of chatter, just rounding that over, just like that, it just helps so much smooth the chain out. Again, they do it from the factory for a reason. Because in all honesty, if it didn't do anything, they wouldn't do it. They just have a nice square peg that you just slowly grind off. But that's also another reason the factory chains are so smooth, is they got that nice rounded. And it's not noticeable on the first few sharpenings, but when you're down to 20% of the cutter life left, and it's just a flat spot on the rakers, that's when chains really start to chatter, even if it's razor sharp, all the teeth are the same. Do everything right, and it still chatters that little bit. Try rounding over your rakers. It's easy to do, and it's good habit. And also just, again, you see that? If it wasn't for all the dust and stuff, that looks like a brand new chain. And that's how I try to keep my chains. I try to keep them looking like new. Yeah, sometimes I'll tip the file, actually, instead of being parallel, I'll tip it down a little, just to give it that little bit extra fine edge, but the factory chains cut well. Try to copy what the factory does. That's what I did when I started experimenting with that, and it made a difference. Again, my chains are some of the best chains a lot of my friends get to run, so I take pride in that. You should too. You should always be able to say, yeah, I got the best chain performance I can given my circumstances. But again, filing chains, it's an art form. You can spend your whole life to master it, and no matter what you do, there'll always be someone who's just a little bit better than you. But just get the best chain you can. Makes running a saw so enjoyable. But with all that being said, hope all you guys have a wonderful night. And thank you for watching.